Hi, it's me, Luigi. I just want to make a note that my favorite game growing up was Luigi's Mansion, and I made sure that Luigi beat the final boss.
If you're a defense
Hey
attorney named
guys!
if you're a defense attorney named Mario, you have the chance to do something very iconic right now.
The funniest thing ever. Hey guys! What's poppin'? It's your girl Wangechi. Welcome to the Untitled Africans podcast. Wangechi standing beside Luigi.
AKA
Justice
Batty
for
B.
Luigi. And I'm here with
Your boy Brian, BRI, AKA Batty B, on the mic as we sing. She wants a number 3 supersize on your rings.
Ow.
He could come out the house with no ankle bracelet on because he got 3 strikes. Don't get his order wrong.
Oh.
That's what Nancy should have been listening to, since you want to go ahead and snitch on people and shit.
Who's Nancy?
Oh, we'll get into that.
But anyways, y'all, welcome to the podcast. How's this week been for you, friend?
Girl, this week has been a whirlwind. I'll say that. It's been a lot. Unfortunately had a loss in the family. My
sorry.
dad's oldest sister passed away. So it's been kind of dealing with that. I know that's weird. This month has been just end of 2024 just has not been great for me. I'll say that. I'm like, girl, can we move on to 2025? But then I'm scared about what 2025 will bring. I'm just like, ugh. Can you just take me back to 2023, please? I don't wanna do this anymore. Take me back.
Let's go.
Who's
go
invented
back to
time
summer
travel?
16.
Yeah, like take me back, please. Por favor. ¿Cómo se dice? This is guerro. ¿Cómo se ghetto?
Not ghetto.
¿Cómo se this is ghetto, honey?
Very, very ghetto.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say like I've been having a very tough go at it lately. Mentally, emotionally, I will say.
Life or
life, I guess. I don't know. Just emotions just up and down here and there. I don't know. Just everywhere. Like I said before, I don't know if I told you this, but I feel like I've been at a very weird like crossroads moments, and it's like just giving me a lot of anxiety to like make a decision. And I'm like, what if it's the wrong one? What if I don't, what if it doesn't work out and I have to start over again? But it's just like I just know like I just have to make a choice and I just have to like go and do it. But the anxiety of it all is really causing me to like freeze up, and I don't like that. So it's kind of putting me in one of those like stalemates where it's just like I can't move. I don't know.
Sounds like you need to watch Inside Out 2 again.
Anxiety, let go. Whew. I cannot watch that movie. I'm sorry. I cannot watch that movie. In the current state that I'm in, I will fall apart in that scene. I will fall apart.
Sometimes you just need to have a full breakdown, fully.
No.
Fully sink.
Babe,
and then
I've had enough of
up.
those. You and I both know. I've had enough of those, at least in this final, like Q4. I've already had 2 back to back. I'm good.
Okay, well, those 2 were public. You need a private time to sit with your emotions. Maybe that's why they happened that way, because you were not letting yourself sit in it.
I'm not letting myself
feel it.
Fair. Yeah.
Keep it pushing.
I guess. But girl, yeah. But that's just me. What about you, girl? How are you? How's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. One of the better weeks. I think for me, November was really hard. Um, so now December. I mean, it's only up from here, baby. At
Hey.
least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. Okay, it's not getting any worse. So it's been pretty good for me. Spent a lot of time on social media, and I'm kind of getting over her because she's talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And if you don't
Mm.
have social media, that's probably the only reason you haven't heard about this. Luigi, what's his name?
Mangione.
Mangione.
Girl,
It's
that
like you
is the
can't say
most
that without the accent.
Luigi Mangione.
Mangione. I should have
Like,
called my Italian friend to ask her. Tell me that I'm saying this right. She's Italian and from the Northeast. Yeah, I have an
child.
Italian friend. I can't be
Girl.
racist. I have an Italian friend. I should have
Remember
been
when they
like,
were
Miss
saying
Ma'am, get your boy.
remember when they were saying apparently Beyonce was some Italian woman named Maria Grazzi something.
Oh yeah. The Beyonce conspiracy theories go crazy. I'm just like, how
Girl.
many has she lived through? I can't imagine. And she's always just so quiet.
Like it's always something else too. It's like, damn, can the girl just live? But
I guess that's a
mm-mm.
message. You know, when the people are hating on you and preying on your downfall and you barely know they exist, all you gotta do is
Right.
just be quiet, honey. Not worth my attention, not worth my time. And that is a message that I hope to keep in the forefront of my mind, especially after this year. But anyways, back to Luigi. Uh,
It's
I'm
me,
sorry,
Luigi.
Luigi. It's me. I'm in here.
It's
So if
me,
you
Jessica. I'm in here. Yo.
haven't heard about the United Healthcare CEO, the man was murdered on the streets.
Of
Okay, and then later came
NYC.
out in New York. So information had been trickling in. So they released footage of the gunman who had been waiting by the hotel that the CEO was about to enter for 5 minutes and shot him. And they were like, yeah, the gunman took a bus from Atlanta to New York. And then after that, immediately back from New York to Atlanta. And let me say this because I did that trek myself not too long ago. Okay, that is a journey, one way in and of
Isn't
itself.
it? Isn't it like at
It is
least like 12 hours?
minimum. Yeah. I think mine was 12 hours cuz the buses also it's not like you're just driving straight
They
there.
make
They
stops.
have stops, they have layovers. When I went
How you got
like
to
I want to
how
say I
you got
went
to
in the
lay
middle
over
of
on a
the
bus?
afternoon. Layover on a bus, then you got to catch a connecting bus. And it was like 1 a.m. My next bus wasn't coming till 3 a.m. So you just have to kill time in this parking deck until then. Like, that is a trek. So I'm like, this guy is committed. Like, it's giving Criminal Minds type of commitment.
Like, where is the team?
And
Like,
then,
where is Matthew Gray Gubler and the rest of the crew? Like,
okay, Agent Morgan, we need you. Come back, Agent Hodge.
Penelope,
And
baby
then,
girl,
like,
where you at?
Miss Garcia herself, Agent Garcia herself. And then like they were like they didn't have a lot of information other than the clip of him shooting him, the bus information, and then the little famous picture of him smiling wherever he was at. I
Wasn't
don't know where
he was
he
at
was
a
at.
Starbucks or like a coffee shop or something, they said?
Yeah, and he was cheesing. Why you cheesing, fam? You about to commit murder, just did like. And then they were like, I think we got him. So this past week, they arrested him in a McDonald's. His name is, like we said, Luigi Mangione or something like
Now,
that, something close
before
to
we get
that.
into the arrest, I want to say this. The person who allegedly tipped off the cops saying, "Hey, I think this is your guy." I think her name was Nancy something. She worked at the McDonald's in Altoona. And apparently,
Alatuna?
Altoona, Altoona.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know if this story, how factual this is, but apparently, not only is she not eligible for the reward money for the tip, she also got fired from McDonald's for being on the phone while on the clock.
That would sound accurate for McDonald's. They be strict over there.
And when I tell you the way these fast food companies, I'm surprised that like Wendy's wasn't even more on top of it. Remember when Wendy's used to like go wild on Twitter with the responses?
Oh yeah, I kind of
I'm
want
surprised.
businesses to stop doing that.
I'm surprised Wendy's because I think I saw a Burger King one. I don't know if this was real or if this was like photoshopped or faked or whatever.
Doctored.
But I saw a Burger King was like, we would never snitch. What?
No, we don't snitch over here, honey.
But
But see, but I read that it was a patron of McDonald's that tipped him off.
I've been seeing something about
So
some woman named Nancy something apparently who was the one who called in the tip. Yeah, so there's just been a lot of stories, but I believe confirmed the person who did call in the tip to 911 was Nancy, who was an employee at a McDonald's in Altoona. Now, I have never been one for doxing. I think it's a very cruel practice. Um, but the fact that y'all literally went and found like the 5 McDonald's within the city limits of Altoona and like reviewed them, like down reviewed them so bad to the point where like they all have like 1 star or less.
they reviewed all the McDonald's. That's not
Yes.
doxing. But that's hilarious.
I was just like, what? They were like, oh yeah, the
McDonald's
boomers
will
here.
be okay. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't feel bad for them,
You
and I
know,
know they're not going to lose customers based off of this, especially given what I imagine the demographic of that place looks like. I don't think that the elderly patrons there are going to stop because of the one-star reviews.
well, so there were 2 rewards actually being given out. There was the 50K from the FBI and then the 10K from the NYPD. And in order to be eligible for the NYPD reward, you had to call into the Crime Stoppers tip line. And then in order,
Specifically,
mm-hmm, you couldn't just like call 911 and be like, "Hey, I think this is so." You had to call the like Crime Stoppers tip line.
hey, the most wanted man is known right now. Let me wait and look up this 1-800 number so I can get the money when he's sitting right in front of me.
And then
That's crazy.
apparently, I think it was like the systems in place for like to receive like the FBI funds like aren't set up yet, so that's also like in flux, like up in there. So I'm like,
Not insufficient funds. They
baby,
ain't
you.
got no money.
So you mean to tell me you're not gonna get you're not getting the 60K. B, allegedly you've been fired from your job for being on the phone while on the clock, and then C, the whole entire world hates you.
That's not why she was
Oh,
fired. That's what they're saying. They're like, yeah, she broke company policy. We have to let her go. We don't fuck with snitches either. Like,
actually, McDonald's got an A with that. With like, we don't fuck with snitches. Y'all got A
honey.
with that. Y'all ate that little one thing. That little one thing. You know.
So yeah, Mr. Luigi, he was caught with his 3D printed type murder weapon and a manifesto, which to me, when I was following this case, was so crazy to me because I was like, not you got that murder weapon and the manifesto on you. Because the way that it was executed, like you took a bus 12 hours plus to and fro to find your subject. You did not need to wait more than 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, your subject had arrived because you studied his calendar so closely that you don't have to wait for
Like,
hours to see when they're going to be there. You knew exactly the time you needed to be there, the time you needed to leave, and you protected your identity. You avoided all the cameras. You did all of this just to be caught with a manifesto. I was like, Incorrect. That is
I
not
think
him.
I think as a collective generation, Gen Z has watched enough like Criminal Minds, NCIS, Law and Order SVU, like Criminal Intent, like all of the, police investigative like serial killer shows to be like, something ain't right here. The math ain't mathin'. Also, I just want to say this. From the pictures, from the security cam pictures from like the different places that he went to, either before or after the asset. Can you even call it an assassination? What's the difference between an assassination and a murder? Is an
I think
assassination
it
like,
is an assassination because it's like a prominent figure. That
okay,
man is a
well,
prominent figure now.
anyway, so if you look at them, the eyebrows, either baby girl got a wax or his hair just grows back really fast because the way his
He's
bridge,
Italian. So, but his eyebrows were very much neatly groomed.
pr-
Before they caught him, I was like, is he a sociopath? Because why is his eyebrows so neatly groomed? And is he
but
just doing this
then
for attention?
no, but then here's the thing though, like when he was caught, like if you look at the picture, like his mugshot, like girl, his eyebrows, like the space between them is a lot thinner. It's like a lot smaller
Damn
than the
near
picture.
unibrow.
Yeah, I was just like, hold on. Either the camera just is a really bad quality, or that's not him, or they
See,
were just
I've heard that theory, but I don't know if eyebrows is enough to acquit you of an assassination. Like, you could easily be like, yeah, it was groomed or something like that. Like his hair grows fast. Like he's Italian. Like they're known for being hairy.
I'm not touching that with a 10 foot
They're
pole.
Are they not known for growing a lot of hair? That is not a bad thing. Like,
I don't know. I really try to keep. I feel like in
anyways,
this.
so he was caught with the murder weapon and the manifesto. So it just like caught me off guard. But then when they started like digging, like not the FBI and the NYPD were struggling. But when the internet sleuths started digging, they saw he had 286 posts. He was found 286 miles away. Like the McDonald's is within a 286-mile radius of the assassination. It was like everything was like linked to 286. And then they said, like, let me make sure I read this right. But there's like a healthcare insurance rule number
Code.
286.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is like says why your denial code 286 is used when the appeal time limits for a claim have not been made. So it's like, okay, like it's giving too intentional. Like he's
Baby, when I
too
tell you
intentional with everything to be cut with a manifesto. I don't know. That was just so disappointing to me.
listen, this young man, like he plotted and planned it to the point where apparently they said like the shell casings for the bullets that he used had like the 3Ds. I was like deny, depose, and then something else um on them. And I was like, and apparently those are like the three words. Let me make sure I use this correctly. The 3Ds.
They say he had 286 followers on Spotify. I'm like, can he even control that unless he's part of a group? Like,
Yeah,
unless
it
he's part of a
was
group.
uh delay, deny, defend. Um delay, telling you that your claim is too late, deny the claim entirely, or defend, meaning bringing the matter to court, and that could take like several years. But apparently those were carved into the shell casings. I was just like, no, this is like some serial mastermind type like stuff. And he even
And he
said
was
that
like
like
too
I don't know
smart
if it
with
was in his
it.
I don't know if it was in his manifesto, but apparently he had said he was like he had thought about like using like a big boom,
A
to
bomb.
hmm but apparently he
Big boom.
quickly I'm trying to use
It was giving you
YouTube
talking to my
friendly.
knees.
I'm
And
trying to
the
give very
Lord
much
said, big boom.
listen, I'm trying to give very much like YouTube friendly language.
We were talking
But
about the assassination of somebody. Ain't nothing friendly, kid friendly, too friendly about this.
Anyway, so they were talking about saying that he had contemplated using a bomb, but he was like, "No, that would hurt too many innocent people." So I'm like, "Oh, he was so
Sure.
intentional." No, to the point where you like literally have a silencer, and then your getaway vehicle is a bicycle, not a bicycle, a bicycle. Like, oh, you hadn't like you had a plan, and then to escape into Central Park, which anyone who's ever been to New York, you know how large and vast that place is, and there how many entrances there are, and like how many cameras are around them, and the buildings around Central Park point to Central Park entrances. It's like, but you can get so lost so quickly. There's a zoo in there if you didn't know. Also, there's like baseball fields. It's big as fuck. And then they said that apparently the backpack that he had on him, he threw away, and when they found it, it was only Monopoly money. I'm like, bruh, this is like there is like,
It's
they keep saying like
very.
Ryan Murphy needs to fucking write this fucking biopic. I'm
I know
like,
they're like, please, Dave Franco, this is your chance. We need
listen.
you.
Also, they said that he graduated from an Ivy League university, so I'm assuming he's a smart kid. And allegedly, he also comes from money. I believe is the
That's
assumption.
most of the, yeah.
There's
Yes, they're saying to
this
the
has been
streets of staying.
probably this has been probably the wildest like story to have come out towards the end of 2020. Like
It
I,
really is.
I want you to remember like how 2024 started with the New York like city people finding out that there's apparently giant tunnels that connect like the Jewish synagogues. Do you remember that story? That was this beginning of
No.
2024
All I
where they
remember
were
from the
like
beginning was Cat Williams. Cat Williams' interview with Shannon Sharp.
beginning of 24, I think it was Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp, and then also I remember like the synagogue tunnel story apparently in New York, because they're like that's how the year started. So for the year to end in this like massive like wild goose chase.
I just feel like that this there's more. I feel like this isn't even going to
Oh,
be
there's
like the
so much
craziest
more. There's
story to
so
come out of December.
girl, but I just can we in all of this and happening, what happened to the
They
man
said,
was
sorry. They said, so the McDonald's employee can spot the United Healthcare CEO killer, but can't spot what's missing from my bag. Clock it. Because the same day I was at
listen,
McDonald's waiting 20 minutes for 2 fries.
yo,
Y'all worried about the
talk
wrong
about it.
things.
Talk about it.
Your priorities are in the wrong place.
Baby, you trying to get to this money on real fast, but you don't even like come on
And you can't
now.
even do your job.
Like crazy. But
Or how to fix
this
the ice cream machine.
it's all the
Where are your priorities?
it's the fact that like there's already look-alike contests apparently being
I
plotted and
love
planned.
that.
Did you see that boy who was who like Loki looks like him, like getting into the
And
car
got
with
in the
his
car with his
mother?
mom.
Can we talk about the unseriousness of Gen Z? Like, I've been very I'll just make this statement. I have been very conflicted about being able to enjoy like the funniness of the internet next to like the seriousness of like the situation. It's like no one person should ever result to violence or murder in order to that's never okay. Killing other people is never okay. It's and we do not condone it, and we are not saying it. What he did was the right thing to do at all. That is no, 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 no. But I've been in a very conflicted space in that it's the only thing everybody's talking about on the internet, and the stance everybody has taken is that yeah, what he did was wrong, but do you blame him? Like I even saw one tweet that was like Luigi got off his because he was 26. They said Luigi got off his parents' insurance and got that first insurance bill and said, "What the fuck?" And I'm just like, and then there's
Said
another
this is what,
story.
because it's really like, oh wait, now I'm responsible. Like this is
Yeah, because
this is a
apparently
lot. And then he
because
had like a spinal surgery, right?
yeah, to the point where
Or
like
some.
apparently his landlord came out and was like, "Yeah, he's been in so much pain, like he can't even fuck no more." I said, "What? How do you know this? Like,
I'm
why do
just
you
like
know this?"
some of these stories I don't
And then
understand.
there's the oh my god, the fan cams. Oh my god, the fan cams. Do you know apparently like Britney Spears song "I'm in Love with a Criminal" is like trending on Spotify? Like its numbers have gone up. And if you know that song, like the way it goes, it's
That's
like,
insane.
"Mama, I'm in love with a criminal, and this type of love isn't rational. It's physical." Like, what? They're making fan cams to that song. They've got like his pictures from when he was in college. Apparently, he was bisexual, so they're like, "Oh my god, we love a bi king." You know how the internet girls love a bisexual king.
How do
Apparently,
they
they found
know all of this information?
girl. Apparently, they found his letterboxed. They were like, at least he got to see Wicked before he. I was like,
Oh yeah,
what?
they were like he rated the Lorax 5 stars, very on brand for him.
And then what else did I see? I saw apparently he also had an OnlyFans. Oh
Wait, what? What did you just
yeah,
say?
OnlyFans. He had one, and the nudes have been leaked.
Okay, this is when the internet loses me because y'all are so annoying with this. Like,
No,
unless
because
y'all
when
about to
I
pay for that man's subscription, like
oh girl, when I tell you, apparently his lawyers have all been like his lawyers have received an influx of like contact
donations.
being like, how can we donate to his bail? To the point where the judge was like, oh no, he's being no bail. They
Ain't
didn't
no
set a bail.
bail,
Like
honey.
they said no, he's not being let out.
You ain't
Like
posting shit.
to the point
Because
where
they
like
know that
people
he
are
has the public support, like
they're to
a
the point where
lot
they're
of
like,
public support.
we're like people are like, there's like a I think I saw like a not a GoFundMe but a where you can like donate to like his defense fund. I said, what? His defense fund? Y'all paying for his
I will not be
lawyer?
doing that. I will not be doing that.
Like I can I can get in I can kind of see like the kikiness of it all. Like we all love when the internet just collectively comes
Comes
together,
together.
and just
Mm.
has a fun, even though it's like it's unfortunate again that killing a person is not okay, but I can understand like this
See, I
generation
don't
doesn't
feel
take
like
any Gen Z
that
doesn't take
people
anything
are saying
seriously.
that even. I don't feel like people are saying that killing somebody is okay. I think a lot of people are shrugging their shoulders at that fact because what was made okay was charging us exorbitant amounts of money for things that should be a right. And you know what else should be a right? Your life. And guess what? Everybody lost their lives in one way or another because of the healthcare system in this country. Millions and millions of people either lost their lives or are currently suffering because of the healthcare industry in this country. So if one person that is symbolizing the amount of loss that we have suffered through because of the crappy healthcare system here, and it's the
Clock
person
it.
that is the head of that, the face of that company. It's not that we want him to die, but we're going to shrug our shoulders at the fact that he's gone, that he was murdered for upholding something like this. Because baby, I'm not going to kill you, I'm not going to say you have the right to die, but the fact that you're dead, babes, you've been broken the social contract. Like, we no longer care now. Like,
Okay
your
now.
life is not the same. Your life does not hold the same value that it would have if you did not stand for literal death. Like, you did not symbolize death and suffering. People would care more. So I don't even feel like people necessarily are like saying that he should be murdered. Like, of course not. But I think what he symbolizes, babe,
Is the
ain't
frustration
no
of like
it
years
ain't
and
no
years of
social
people.
contract. The same way we shouldn't want murders, the same way we shouldn't feel like we have to suffer for our lives to matter in this country. So guess what? Guess we
I
both
mean,
ain't shit.
I okay. I mean, I will say
As
like
Miss Meg the Stallion said.
I will say the one thing that I have seen that's like led to that's come from this apart from the memes and the fan cams and the the over sexualization of a murderer um is the larger conversation about healthcare in this country, which has been abysmal for as long as I have been able to even have insurance myself, because the fact that I literally have a almost $2,000 emergency room bill waiting for me. Meanwhile, I'm unemployed and they denied my fucking like assistance real bad. So if you'd like to donate, y'all can Zelle me at just hit me up at my DMs. But anyway, like it's actually like shitty in this country to even try to like get the most of basic like healthcare needs met, and how quickly like
And there's
they're
so many
so quick to
stipulations.
yeah, there's like and then it's like they're so quick to like take our money and line their pockets, and you know year after year like CEOs salaries are like fucking inflated, and their bonuses are like large as shit, because they what they bring on more money into the company every year, but then meanwhile it's like you turn around and the people that you're allegedly supposed to be helping, you don't help at all. So it's
The fact that it's called United Healthcare is just so ironic because, baby, ain't no
girl,
United Healthcare in this country.
listen, after this situation happened, Anthem by Blue Cross Blue Shield had a plan in place to stop covering anesthesia for procedures. And I believe this was in states in like Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York. I'm not exactly sure, but there was a plan in place to stop covering anesthesia. And mind you, this isn't like, oh, we're
It's
just
like a
not for like
time
a
limit or something.
yeah. They were like planning to do. It was supposed to be based off of like the estimated time of like a surgery would take. But so if like the surgery ran longer, like you would have to pay for the anesthesia to keep you under if they ran longer than the estimated time. And when I read that, I was like, you're joking. Like there is no way. Soon as it came out about this United Healthcare CEO being assassinated, girl, the way Anthem and Blue Cross Blue Shield put out a statement and said, we're not doing that no more. We
Actually,
good. We not doing
reverse.
that.
Actually, it was never even really implemented. Like, we weren't even, like, we were
Girl,
just joking, guys.
I
Like,
it
nobody wants
was
to
just
laugh anymore. Like, nothing's.
guys, we're just
Why so
joking.
serious?
Are we the
Why
drama? I don't
so
think we're the drama.
serious?
Like,
But
girl,
it's like people want to
got your
talk
hoe
about
shaking in
like,
y'all boots.
okay, because don't let the US start realizing that they can like solve social issues with gun violence. Like we already have the gun
Oh,
violence and the social issues. So we
oh,
can use one to get rid of the other, baby. Now you really
oh.
gonna have a problem on your hands.
Listen, listen. All I'm gonna say is, friends, friends be on their shit. I say to the
We
guillotine,
need to take
bitches.
notes. France, Taiwan, like, honey, those are the people, or the people in Hong Kong.
Girl,
Those are the ones we need to be taking notes from because they know
I
how to
feel like,
protest, baby.
and I think this, and I heard somebody say this. They were like, the assassination of this CEO is gonna be like the same. Is gonna be like the what's the word? Like the trigger, like the spark that starts a fucking movement, just like how the assassination of the Archduke of Ferdinand led to World War I. That's what, like, somebody
I think World
compared
War
the two,
Two.
and they were like, this is gonna be the same as that, because it's definitely gonna lead to people realizing like, okay, now wait a god. Now, what's even gonna be worse is when this president gets into office and doesn't have a plan to
This
replace
man is currently talking
affordable
about how
health care.
he can't even talk about the price of eggs. He's like, lowering the prices of eggs is gonna be very hard. So, babes, we're definitely like screwed on
Oh,
in terms of healthcare.
this generation, especially like a lot of Gen Z that are like coming into their like mid 20s, and they're getting kicked off of their parents' insurances, and they're about to quickly realize like the reality of what it's like out here. This is gonna be the thing that radicalizes them. This is gonna be the Occupy Wall Street. This is gonna be like this. I think this. I genuinely believe like this might be the catalyst to something, to a much bigger conversation, a much bigger movement within like healthcare in this country, because I
Yeah,
don't
for somebody
see.
to be well off, right-leaning white man who was shooting this United Healthcare. Like, if it's gonna work, this healthcare system is gonna work for anybody. It's most likely gonna be somebody like him.
And
He's
it
young,
didn't.
and it didn't. And he's revolted. I
Oh,
need all of his people. They are the ones that need to be on the front lines for this because we've been suffering. The black people have been suffering. Okay, the middle class to like lower class, lower income people have been suffering, been trying to make a
right.
change. But let the right wing, well off, the upper middle class, even people start wanting to revolt. Yeah, that's when they're like, okay, we need to lock him up. We need to talk about in his manifesto how much he loved the feds, like he just thinks we're great guys. And then we need to silence him as much as possible. Ain't no bail, ain't no more posting. Like they even took down his Twitter
Oh,
for
his
a little bit.
Twitter, his Twitter, his Instagram got taken down because apparently he got like such an influx of like new followers. I was like, I hope he's inside fucking. I hope somebody in the inside slipped him a phone and was like, I look, he just want him to be like,
Baby, you
hey y'all,
up.
what's good? I look, he just wanted him to send like a piece of, like I just want. This is gonna sound really
I,
fucked up, but I kind of like I don't know if you remember like the Anna Delvey trial. I kind of want him to have like the same little,
oh,
like
like, look,
moment,
like, I see y'all. I
like
want him to do like the Homelander, in The Boys, when they exposed Homelander for something, and then they started cheering
mm-hmm.
for him, or he killed somebody in front of us,
Literally,
and they started
yeah,
cheering
yeah.
for him. I want him to be like, I just want him to tweet out that GIF of Homelander to be like, oh, y'all are rooting for me. Oh,
That's the
I'm
one. That is the
untouchable.
one. That is the one. Because how like Loki iconic. Loki
He ate.
iconic.
He ate.
He ate with
And
that.
the actions are questionable, but was it effective? Okay.
He did what he needed to do.
We may not agree on the means to the end, but baby, the end got
At the end of
here.
the
Let me
day,
tell you.
the day
And
gotta
it's
end.
and it's okay. And like, is it our fault when like Blue Cross Blue Shield is reversing their decisions when stuff like this happens? Like, you're
I mean,
sending a
look
message that this is what it takes. Like, we're not gonna care. You can call in, you can give us your sob stories, you can call your representatives. It doesn't matter. But once somebody rich and powerful dies, that's when we're like, oh, okay, wait. That's when we care. So, honey, I don't want to hear anything about wait, but he's a murderer. Well, that's the people in charge are showing that's what it takes for them to listen. If it
to the
doesn't take
point
that,
where it's just it's like, all right, so who's next? Like who we like who's gonna change who's gonna
your
reverse
name, the
their
hip hop
decisions?
Harry.
Like
Hip hop
you
Harry.
saw
Who's
you
next?
saw
Go,
on
go.
where what was it? In New York, there was like wanted posters for like CEOs. And
What?
like
Oh,
yeah, there
wait.
no, yeah.
Wanted
Like
for
to
questioning or something?
no, there was posters
Or
of like
like the
CEOs,
job?
like no, like there was posters of like wanted,
Oh,
and it was CEOs, and like one of them was like the
of
CEO
other
of
like
United Health,
healthcare
prominent
insurance
CEOs. I don't know
companies?
if it's like healthcare insurance, but like other like big name CEOs that like have been profiting while meanwhile their services that they provide apparently are shitty to other human beings. And so like they've just been like posted all over New York, and like the one for the United Healthcare CEO is like X, and it's just like you're just like, oh shit. And so who was, I think it was like either CNN or like Fox News or like Bloomberg. I saw a news story that one of the correspondents was just saying that like a lot of C-suite level like executives are kind of scared. They're like, okay, what if this
They're not
starts like a
having no
copycat
meetings.
movement? Like what's next? It's like, oh, them end of year bonuses, baby, they're getting passed through real quick.
I'm like, don't let there even be a reason, honey. Start actually making policies that act
Fuck the
like you
pizza
care about the
party,
human
bitch. Sign
life.
the checks. Sign the checks and make sure they go
Like,
through.
stop making policies that literally are killing us because we can't afford anything. We can't afford to go to the hospital and be taken care of. Like
Like,
a life for a life, honey. A life for millions of lives. So if you don't want it to be that,
you know,
honey,
it's the
Luigi has spoken.
it's the train track theory.
What is that?
You know, it's like there's a train coming down the tracks. There's two different tracks. You can pull a lever to separate them. One is headed towards like a group of people.
Pull
The
the
other
lever, Kronk.
one is headed towards this person. It's like on this end is this person, and on this end is like this group of people who. It's like, spare the
Gonna make
lives of
policy changes.
do you spare the lives of many to, or do you spare the
Benefit a
lives
few.
of many to, yeah, so it's like, mm, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not the
Or
end
like
all
kill
decision
many to
maker.
benefit a few. Or spare the lives
Or
of any and honey, let a few suffer in the
yeah,
process. Don't let
so
suffering be murder again. Let this be enough suffering.
I
Let that be
think
enough for you to be like, actually, let's spare the masses.
I think this should just be like as like a symbol to how far people who are frustrated with the system are willing to go.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's like, imagine if to take a 12-hour bus ride.
From Atlanta
12
to New
hour
York.
bus ride. And this isn't even like somebody who's like, like uneducated, like this man had a plan in place. And it's like in those 12 hours, like he could have changed his mind. He could have just walked away from it all. But like he had reached a point where it was like a boiling point for him where it's like, I cannot like continue like this. And the person who's responsible for my suffering and the only way I see this working is like I
I
will
would feel
to risk
justified.
to risk
What's his
the death
sign? I know
to
there's
risk a
somebody on the
death
timeline.
penalty to risk the death penalty or even like life in prison without parole for the sake of just like is it's insane.
Yeah.
Let
I
me
mean, I
see.
definitely want him to get seen by some psychologists. I would love an actual like sit down interview with like a psychologist not hired
Ooh,
by the state or the government.
who do we think would do the interview?
There was one psychologist I watched, but I think she's dead. She did some interviews with Ted Bundy and she said he actually has like DID and that was like not popular or favorable. Like I don't think many people know that now, but she was very much like unbiased in her findings, or it seemed like it. And I feel like she would be great. I don't want Oprah. I'm sorry, no shade to
Mm-mm,
Oprah
mm-mm.
or who's the one that be so close to people's face to be like
Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore. I don't want to. I need a
No.
professional. I need a
Should it be like,
professional, not
oh,
Mama Iyanla.
what about Les? I was talking about like journalism reporters.
No, I want a psyche val. The man is not well.
um
Like as much as we joke and they're like, "Oh, he's so cute," like he's not
Girl,
well.
they already
His
got
family
his
hasn't heard from him
whole
for over a year.
they got his whole zodiac. He's a Taurus.
He's a Taurus. Oh, baby,
Yes.
ain't no changing that mind on the bus ride.
Yeah, there were
Ain't
somebody
no
literally
changing that mind.
the first tweet I read was like Luigi Mangione was mad as hell because I cannot see a Taurus step out of being steady and stoic unless they know things won't change. And with Uranus being in Taurus, definitely elevated his sense of being that force of change. Like I said,
Oh,
he's gonna be like honestly Loki like a symbol of like a revolution for this generation. That's my prediction. I think
yeah.
a
And
lot
that's
of
why I feel
Gen
like
Z
even if
is
there's
coming
not enough
into.
evidence,
Mm-hmm.
like because some people are like, oh, did he really have write this manifesto? Was it really him? The eyebrow thing, and then just the sloppiness that it seemed like of getting caught versus the skill of like the execution not adding up.
Yeah.
I think that either way, like the NYPD and the FBI wants to lock him up because of what he symbolizes. It's like, no, like we can't let him be free, and we got to make sure that somebody is taking the fall for this, and somebody's gonna be the face of like this crime, and they will be made an example of. Like I think more than they want like actual justice for whoever did that. NYPD and the
Mm-hmm.
FBI, they're just like, baby, somebody's gonna needs to go to prison for this because we cannot let the masses start thinking that this is okay. We are here to
This
enforce these rules.
it reminds me of that other Bugs movie, the Ants movie. I don't know if you remember it. There was the Ants movie, and then there was a Bugs Life. They came out around the same time. Bugs Life was a lot more popular because it was Disney Pixar, but the Ants movie had a much like deeper message. I don't know if you remember it, but the Ants movie, they were the ants were uh being basically held hostage by the grasshoppers. So they would be like the ants would have to gather like food for winter for the grasshoppers, but then they would also have to like have their own stash as well. And so they were like working twice as hard or whatever. And in one of the grasshoppers' speeches, he was like, they can never know that they outnumber us like 50 or something or 100 to like one per like for each grasshopper. And it really just made me think it was like, in all honesty, at the end of the day, it's like these people need our money. Like we outnumber
We
these
outnumber them.
companies millions to one. So the fact that they are billionaires, there's an what is the word? There's a the wealth gap in America is a little too big because
Mm,
the fact that the number of billionaires is growing, meanwhile the middle class in America is disappearing, and now there's
mm.
literally only two ends of the spectrum. You're either lower middle class or just extremely wealthy. Yeah, America's kind of people start to look at things and they're like, well, no, wait, hold on a damn minute. How are you making X, Y? And I think this is gonna sound so conspiracy theorist and stuff, but I think maybe that's why like a lot of the right wing and the right side and conservatives like use Trump a lot as a distraction because if you allow the common man and the working man and the educated unemployed class realize that their real enemy is not the influx of immigrants coming into this country, it's not trans
Trans
people, it's
people.
not the LGBTQ community. If they come together and realize that, oh, I can't get basic needs in this country because of these billionaires, I can't move up in my life or in my lifestyle or however because of these people
I can't
who
get a
make
promotion. I can't keep a job. Yeah,
because of
we're
XYZ.
yet the
If
CEOs are
they all
getting paid
collectively
more than ever before.
like you saw how they came together to vote for Trump. Now, if they were to all come together like that with the rest of the quote unquote liberal left, who've all already realized this, we know who the enemy is. If they all came together with the rest of us,
It's like it
oh
was right
baby,
there.
we shaking a room. Fuck January 6th, baby. It's gonna be a different type of November come 4 years from now. Okay. Listen, we so I think definitely back to my point I was saying is that it's going to sound very conspiracy, but I do think that the whole Trumpism of it all is a big distraction from the fact that what you really should be focusing on is what they're doing over here. They're
Yeah, the
lying.
Trumps of the world. Yeah, like Trump is like creating this like bigger divide when he literally symbolizes everything this CEO healthcare stands for. Putting Trump as an office is promoting the United Healthcare CEO, is promoting Blue Cross Blue Anthem CEO. It's putting these people that you swear you hate and they're doing so wrong by the American people, but then you vote the same exact type of person in office and you don't realize how that is not going to benefit you.
The fact that like it wasn't until majority of
Like,
and it wasn't until this election and after this election that people realized the difference, like the fact that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing, like that fucking blew me. It blew my mind. Like,
I swear we've been
what do you
having that
mean?
same conversation for 8 years. Like I remember being like a sophomore in college, and they were like, "Oh wait, Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act are the
That's the
same
same
things," and
thing.
it's like, ain't no way. I've been hearing this since I was like 18.
And now you're
What do you
telling me
mean
y'all
you're
host
just now
still it
realizing
still
this?
hasn't clicked. It still hasn't clicked. So I'm very
But yeah, but maybe between the healthcare thing and Trump being in office, people will start to realize that the top 1% is not looking out for the bottom 99, and that we need to figure out where we can meet in the middle to at least look out for each other and have the top 1% suffer more so that we can gain more.
let's start getting that fucking trickle down economics working, bitch. Turn on the taps and let it start flooding down here because bitches is thirsty for some money.
Honey, forget that. We working our way up. Like
Rain
you see
down
World War
on
Z,
me.
the promotion they had, where it's
Ah,
just a bunch of zombies
oh,
climbing over the
climbing
brick
up the
wall.
wall.
That's how we need to be. Over. We want
Work
to
as a
get over there
collective.
to the other
Work as a
side.
collective.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We work as a collective,
Okay.
come together as a community to rise each other up, to go against that big old wall. They don't want us to see what's behind there and think that, oh, if you just work hard enough, you can be behind this wall too. No, babes, we need to come together and we need to break down that wall.
And I'll just say this, it's the way that like while this whole Luigi Mangione like stuff is going on, meanwhile Kyle Rittenhouse is being
Please,
celebrated all over. Like again,
I can't
murder
even think
is never
about
a good
that.
thing. Murder is never like meanwhile Kyle Rittenhouse is being paid to show up to fucking conferences for like right wing fucking conferences and groups. Because I just saw like a video of somebody just like announcing, "Let's give a big round of applause and a big welcome to," and I said, "You're joking. You're actually joking."
Well, it really
So
matters. That's what I'm saying. It depends to society as a whole about who is being murdered, because people were celebrating up and down on X, and I say X and not Twitter because those are two different spaces. When Jordan Neely, his
mhm,
murderer, was acquitted just like a few days ago, like around the same time the whole CEO assassination was happening. Now they're celebrating this guy who's gotten acquitted for killing a young black homeless man who had mental disorders. But it's like,
that
we care about you if you're rich white man, but if you're young black homeless, if you're black and homeless, babes, we don't care. You're a threat to society. We don't want you here. Then the murder, it doesn't count the same as if some rich billionaire was killed.
yeah,
So I'm like, yeah, I can't even think about the way
the
that society moves
comparisons.
and who they decide to care about, because I can't even imagine being Jordan Neely's mom right now. I
Ciao.
saw a video of him dancing. He was dancing to Michael Jackson. And I was like, this baby, like he was living on the streets and he was a talented performer. Like that is not a rare story. And to suffer
Yeah,
from mental health crisis in the middle of that, like that's normal. Like we do not need to be calling the police for things like that. And we do not need to be having vigilantes out either. Like where's the middle, where are the black people to look out for the black people? Where are the people who actually care about disabled people to look out for them? Because the police aren't going to do that. The random white man who knows how to put people in a headlock is not going to do that. Like there are no systems in place to protect the people who are suffering the most.
and I think, like I
But
said,
you want to celebrate when they get murdered.
like I
I
said,
just
I hope this generally leads to a bigger conversation and all as a collective America looking at what we're propping up and what we're celebrating and what we are just like, no, this needs to be condemned. So like I said, there's a bigger conversation to be had. And I think, like I said, Luigi just he's the catalyst to something a lot bigger. So, and on
I
that
hope
note,
so.
y'all, I think we gotta wrap it up here because we could be here all day talking about this. Clearly.
Fact. And you were like,
Y'all.
well, we have even 45 minutes worth
I
of things
know.
to
I
talk
was like, is
about.
this even a big enough? And I was like I said, it's a big. It's a. He's a catalyst to a bigger conversation that needs to be had in this country. Um, and so thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and rate all the good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Untitled Africans Pod, where you can find us every Tuesday on the video version of the podcast. We're also available wherever podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and now also on Revolt TV. And don't forget to follow us on our social medias at Untitled Africans Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitter. We love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Stay healthy, folks. Any last words?
You have no choice in this country. Be healthy.
That
Bye.
part. Bye.